A new mechanic, continuous healing, has come to Tarkov in patch 16, but the different medkits aren't all the same when it comes to how effective they are, so today I'll be showing you which are the best to use across the most common scenarios. Firstly, how does full healing actually work? There are two ways of using it, one in the settings menu which applies it permanently to all regular healing under the game menu, and here it's either on or off. When on, this replaces the regular hotkeyed heal with the continuous healing mechanic entirely. If you don't have two body parts that are damaged, or the button for the hotkey isn't set up on release, you won't get the menu and you won't be able to see it. Just one thing to note, if you do decide to turn on continuous healing in the menu, you can still use the regular dropdown to pick a body part to heal as well, so this only affects the kind of automatic heal when you simply press the hotkey button once. Now, when the continuous healing kicks in, the medkit repairs the damage on each body part separately. This is faster than using a medkit on each individual body part and then waiting for the complete animation to end before starting the next one. But because only status effects, i.e. bleeds and fractures, require the full animation to complete to get rid of them, you can animation cancel partway through the healing when dealing with simple HP damage on its own. I was intrigued to check out if continuous healing wasn't then necessarily the fastest option because of this. So here I measured the use time of each of the 6 medkits to cycle through and repair a small amount of HP on each body part, from the cheese all the way through to the grizzly. It's worth remembering that each medkit has a different animation time, and all that's happening in the continuous heal is that we cut out the section where we move back to our weapon in between each use. In the stats, the cheese is the shortest with 2 seconds, the car, IFAK, AFAK and Salewa are 3 seconds each, and the grizzly is 5, so it's no great surprise that the AI2 comes in fastest at 28 seconds for a full heal. In the test that I did, these all take around 33 seconds to do a small heal on each part. The grizzly was, no surprise here, the longest, taking 45 seconds for a little heal on each of the 7 body parts, and so is the least suited to using with continuous healing. So how about this animation cancel then? I went back and checked the grizzly and tried to animation cancel as soon as the heal had kicked in 7 times, the same as the continuous version. Interestingly, to my surprise, the difference between the continuous heal and the animation cancel is very minor, at around 1 second, meaning that both are still extremely long. While you do spend less time actually healing if you do it yourself, the time it takes to bring the gun back up in between each heal ends up cutting into the time that you save by cancelling the animation, because the weapon never reappears during the continuous version. Doing it manually was very slightly quicker, but as I said, it was basically a meaningless increase. This then raises the prospect of the fastest healing around, which is when you don't have anything in your hands at all. As you can imagine, this is pretty awkward because you have to put all of your guns and melee weapons away to prevent the game from switching back to them. But you can shorten a grizzly heal on every single body part down to 32 seconds from 45, which is a 30% speed increase. Pretty niche, but worth knowing. The trick to timing the animation cancel properly is watching for the moment that the durability points on the medkit start to go down. If you're only fixing a few points of HP on each limb, you can left click to cancel straight away and press the medkit key again as soon as it's deselected. For me, the most important part about the continuous heal mode is that it works in conjunction with my existing hotkeys, which is the heavy bleed and medkit combined key where I put both on the 5 button. You can do this for any sets of keys that you like, but I have slot 4 set up for 5 on press, and I have slot 5 for 5 on release. What I do to set this up in my actual inventory is on my character, you hold down 5 over the item that you want to activate first, so I use a heavy bleed item like a hemostat or a cat tourniquet, and then I hold the button down, hover my mouse over to the medkit that I'm going to hotkey in my rig, and then I let go with the mouse pointing at it. This allows the medkit to then be selected for the release key and the heavy bleed item to be on press. Setting it up in this way still gives you the ability to use my dual healing method, which prioritizes using the heavy bleed item first and then the actual medkit second, and only if there are no heavy bleeds does it use the light bleed on the medkit itself or afterwards start to fix HP. But because my 5 button is set to release and is on the medkit, I can also scroll wheel and pick a limb and use the continuous healing if I choose to do so. This way we get the best of both, with the ability to use the new system and to keep the muscle memory that we had previously using the old hotkey as well. I do think there is an argument to take an AI2 on another key, like 6 for me for example, to get a small but full heal done much quicker than with my regular medkit, which tends to be a car in the early game and a Salewa later on. So it's up to you if you think it's worth taking along one AI2 in your rig to quickly patch up a bunch of small damage to every body part in one go after a fight to prevent the extra time taken from your main medkit. Any questions? Feel free to leave them in the comments. As usual, a big shout out to all my patrons, and as always, have fun in your raids.